everyone, Daisy here with my second layout for the Make Paper Art Design team. Today I am using this Cool It Down cut file, and I'm using the title Summer Faves off of it. And what I'm doing is I'm using my fuse tool here to go around the letters for the word faves. And I'm going to make little shaker kind of pockets to go over that part of the word. So I just used the actual cut file to kind of trace with my fuse tool, and then I'm going to cut out the little sleeves here. And then the sequins that I'm going to use are from Spiegelmom Scraps, and they are the Hustle and Bustle sequins. I'm using a green color, and there's some like iridescent ones and a really light pink that I add as well. So I'm just going to stick them in there. I use this knitting needle to kind of hold my little pockets open as I'm sticking the sequins in, and then I'm going to come through or back in with my fuse tool and seal off the top so that there's no holes for the sequins to leak out. And I just go through and I do each letter. I do end up having to do the V a second time because I accidentally melted it. So I put a huge hole in it because I tilted my fuse tool too much. But I think I cut that out. Yeah. So here I'm going to use this background paper, and this is from, I want to say it's Dear Lizzie, like documentary, or yeah, I think that's what it is. And so I'm starting out though with some just white cardstock, and I'm putting some clear gesso on the back of it here. And I cut this part out, but earlier I had done another one without putting gesso on it. And when I went to do this inking part, you can see all over my table there, I have that pink splotch. Well, I don't know what happened, but like it all dumped right out of my bag onto my table and not onto my paper. So yeah, I had to start over because it was just a huge mess everywhere. Like it went everywhere. And the ink that I used is the Distress Oxide ink in Seedless Preserves. And now I'm just using these photos here, and they are of me and my older daughter, and she is, we're like taking selfies, and she's giving me like a unicorn horn and moose antlers and bunny ears and devil horns, and I just thought it was a really fun like series of photos, so I thought it would be a really great way to use this title Summer Faves because it was during the summer and these are some of my favorite pictures. I love it when I get these little candid shots, especially when they're in like a series like that. They make me very happy. So now this was just cut out of some green cardstock that I had in my stash, and then I also used a paper that is from the Penny Lane collection from My Mind's Eye. It was part of my June How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, and I had cut this out thinking I was going to use it for something else and then changed my mind and decided to use it for this. So I'm just popping it all up on these little foam dots. This is really the only time I like to use these foam dots because I hate all the little like packaging, you know, peeling all the little dots off. It drives me crazy. But they are the perfect size for this, and I don't have to mess with trying to cut down my fun foam. And I really could have cut this out, so I apologize for making you watch all of this. But I'm just going to get this stuck down, and I'm making kind of the shadowed effect here, and then I'm going to do the S as well. And then I'm going to start down putting down the faves part of this title. Now I had cut that word out of this green pattern paper that I'm using, but it just didn't work with the shadow effect because of, you know, the letters being together. I mean, it worked okay, but it didn't look exactly the way I wanted it to, so I thought, hey, the shaker pocket would be a perfect way, and it lets that green stand out, and it makes it so that the title isn't made out of the same pattern paper. So I'm just gonna decide on where I'm gonna put my photos, and the two on the bottom, one of them is just a normal picture of us, and then one of them my daughter's making like what I call the derpy potato face. That is her favorite face to drive us crazy with when we're trying to take pictures, is she makes this face where she just like squishes up everything. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, derpy potato is what we call it. So just adhering those down underneath, and then I'm going to put the four where she's making the funny little things behind my head up on top. I'm going to pop a couple of them up on fun foam just to give it a little bit of, different dimension and everything. And then I know I want to add some embellishments, and I wasn't sure where to go. So I'm thinking, as you can tell by my fingers tapping there on the side, and I'm going to go dig through some different die cuts and things. I have these, I bought the American Crafts digital printable collections for a couple of different collections, and then I also found a couple of things online, just some labels that I printed out, and I believe this is one of the free labels that I found like off Pinterest or whatever. But what I'm going to end up doing is I pull out these Bella Boulevard, or no, Fancy Pants. Oh yeah, I pull out the Fancy Pants, but I don't end up using any of these, so I go and I get my Bella Boulevard collections out, and there is a bunch of different like large ice cream cones and lemonade and stuff like that, and that's what I'm going to end up using to embellish my page, just because I felt like those are also some of my summer favorites, like watermelon and ice cream, and I think I do popsicles or something too. So you'll see that here in a minute. But while I'm doing that, I can talk to you a little bit about the shop. So if you haven't already, you should definitely head on over to Etsy and check out Amanda's shop. She has some of the greatest cut files. I really love all of the cut files that she has. On the last layout, I used 2 different cut files, and this one I'm only using part of one. I do have multiple more layouts coming out using these cut files because I'm really, really in love with them. So you should head on over and check that out. And if you don't already, you should go to the Make Paper Art Facebook group and join that as well. That's where you're going to find out about new cut files and see what all the design team members are doing, what the different projects we're creating are, and also, if Amanda runs any sales or specials, like she sometimes will give some free cut files and things, so that's where you're going to find out about that. So I'll put a link for that down below as well. So here you can see I'm just layering these pieces around, and I thought they were just like perfect to explain summer faves. So I'm going to put those down, and then I'm just going to put the date on that little tag, and that's pretty much going to be the end of my layout, I believe. I can't think of anything else that I add. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you are going to make a purchase in the shop, you can use my code DAISY15 to get 10% off. No, I'm sorry, DAISY10 to get 10% off of your next purchase at Make Paper Arts. Thanks so much for watching. See you again next time. Bye.